God male or female? If you read an English translation of the Quran, God will be mentioned as a he. So why is he a male? Uh, is why isn't he mentioned as a female if he doesn't have a gender, as the Quran says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ, which is nothing like him, or she or her. So why is it that he's never mentioned as a she in an English translation of the Quran, for example, or any reference to God in the Quran? Well, I think first of all, you don't hear God mentioned as a she in English, even in Christian literature, for example. I think maybe in some places here and there, but in the English version of the Bible, I don't think he is mentioned as a she anywhere. However, let's just get back to the question, because I was asked this question today about the Arabic mentioning of God as Huwa. So God is mentioned in the Quran in two ways, as a plural and as a male. So I was asked, why isn't he mentioned as a female as well if he doesn't have any gender? And does that mean that the female is less worthy than the male, and that's why he's not mentioned as a female ever? So actually, it has to do with the Arabic language. The Quran actually confirms that by saying that بِلِسَانٍ عَرَبِيٍّ مُبِينٍ. So the Quran is indeed in an Arabic, clear Arabic tongue. So it's Arabic. So first of all, in Arabic, the gender, the male and the plural forms always include male and female and neutral. So anything that doesn't have a gender, you use the male form to describe it. Any group that has male and female, you use the male form to describe it. However, if you ever use the female, it's very specific in Arabic. You cannot use the female if it's a group of male and female. And of course the plural in plural male, because also in Arabic there's a plural female. The plural male includes both genders and neutral. However, the plural female includes only females. But generally, that's in Arabic, that's the case. So if God was mentioned in the Quran in the female form, you would actually have a problem, because the female form is very specific to the female gender. If you say something, if you refer to something as a she, or use the verb, the female conjugation for the verb, it cannot be anything else except a female entity. So that's the problem. If God is ever mentioned in the Quran in a female way, in a female form, that means he does have a gender, or she does have a gender, because the female form is very specific. It is female gender. However, if he is mentioned in male or plural, that actually is much less problematic, because in Arabic, male and plural include anything that has a gender or that's genderless. Includes male and female and all that. So that's why. And then, so why is it in the translation we use he for God in the Quran? Well, I think that's the translator's problem. Right? You cannot really translate the Quran or any literary text even for that purpose. Like, for example, if you have Shakespeare in Arabic, maybe someone who doesn't read English and he reads one translation of Shakespeare in Arabic or in French or any language, and they don't like it. Maybe it's it's a weak language that is used there. You cannot blame Shakespeare. You can only blame the translator, because the translator, once you translate something into any other language, the product, the end text is not, it's not really the same text. It's the product of the translator. Even in a literary text. So translating Shakespeare is not really translating Shakespeare. You have the translator's skills in there. So you cannot really judge the original text in a different language. Same for the Quran. Specifically for the Quran, because I think a lot of Muslim scholars agree that there is no such thing as a translation as the Quran in another language is also only an interpretation of the Quran in another language, because again it will always be the product of the person who translated it. That's why there is no translation. So if the translator uses he in English to translate huwa, I mean that he has to explain, or she has to explain why they're doing that. And that's it. I think that's what makes sense to me when it comes to the question of why is God mentioned as male and he's never mentioned as a female in the Quran. And Allah knows best. Wallahu a'lam.